Let's get sweaty.
Hey guys, welcome to what I hope will be a bit of a myth-busting Shenmue Dojo video today. I'm sure you're all aware, you'd have seen the news on Thursday, Shenmue The Anime Season 2 is in pretty much serious jeopardy / cancelled. Jason DeMarco made that comment on Thursday morning. You'd have seen the social media posts about it from us and several news outlets sort of over the last few days. It started to pick up sort of steam in the mainstream media. Invariably, with Shenmue, it attracts some sort of controversy or assumption that Shenmue failed, and you can browse the comments for yourself and can see, oh, Shenmue failure, niche market, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff, which people will throw at it. Now, what I'm hoping to do here is actually prove the point that Shenmue The Animation Season 1 was actually a broad success, and these are the reasons why it adds into we should get a second season of this thing. Now, I completely understand with the Warner Brothers merger with Discovery, masses of stuff's been cancelled, masses of probably more popular titles than Shenmue, let's be honest, have been canned. I think of Batgirl, a $90 million film just chucked away for no reason other than to save a few quid here or that. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But what these franchises, with all due respect, don't have is a vocal fan base that will fight for them. And this is why I'm wanting to sort of put the case across to everybody here that actually Shenmue Anime did well and it deserves a second season. And I'm going to hopefully back this up with some numbers and talk through some bits and pieces around it. So without sort of further ado, we'll get cracking here. And I'm going to pull up a tweet from Jason DeMarco on the 1st of May this year. So this is right at the end of the first run of Shenmue The Animation, which ran from February to May this year. And quite honestly, he said, I hope you enjoyed it. We think the show has done well, and it deserves a second season, but no matter what happens, thanks for watching. So this guy, for those who don't know, is the executive producer on Shenmue The Animation, and he is also senior vice president of anime and action content over at Warner and Adult Swim. So this is a guy who will be in the know. He knows the numbers, he knows the facts and figures, to the best of his ability, to what has been shared with him. I'll come on to that very briefly. So first and foremost, he is saying to us right now that Shenmue The Animation has had its broad success in their view. These are the guys who made it, who jointly made it with Crunchyroll. So for anybody who isn't aware, this was a joint project between Adult Swim and Crunchyroll. And Adult Swim is saying it did well. Excellent, fine, we're happy with that. So that's number one. We know that Adult Swim think it did well. But we need some numbers behind this, guys. You know, I can say something did well. You could say something did well. But let's get some actual facts and figures behind it. Now, I'm pulling up on the screen here a topic by Splash Breeze, who did some blog posts for us around the anime. I did a weekly blog. So Splash, thank you for this, and thank you for putting this topic together, because it's making my life 1,000 times easier when we go through this. And what Splash has done is he's put together all the ratings for all the anime episodes in a nice little table there, and with some comparisons to other anime that were airing at the time. Now, Shenmue, out of the new ones that came out all at the same time, performed exceptionally well. It was number 2 to Fena Pirate Princess, but it massively outperformed Blade Runner, as you can see here. And it was also consistently outperforming Attack on Titan, sometimes by 100,000 viewers, which is it's quite a chunk of people. Now, I don't know a huge amount about TV ratings, but I am told that having the 0.11 rating, the 18 to 49 demographic, is really important, because that's the demographic that a lot of these broadcasters and advertisers care about. Now, as I say, I'm not somebody who is in the TV business. I'm not somebody who necessarily knows a lot about it, but on the surface, it seems quite good. Also, couple into the fact we had average viewing figures across the 13 episodes of 240,385. Again, outperforming Attack on Titan, outperforming Blade Runner. So, if you're looking at like for like, Shenmue's done really, really well. Probably better than expected, maybe. But we'll come on to that. So then we come on to Jason DeMarco again, who I had the absolute pleasure of interviewing a few months back. And when talking about the viewing figures and everything else, he did say, look, viewing figures aren't the be-all and end-all. And I know a lot of TV companies will urge caution on things like that, because obviously there's other factors around how well a show does, and viewing figures are just one part of this. However, he said all the research that came in around Shenmue said it had done very well. The viewing figures were good. The reaction was really, really positive. And quite frankly, they wanted to do the second season. So everything from their end had lined up. So this notion of it failed, it didn't fail in the eyes of the people who made it with the metrics that they had. Now, they didn't share the Crunchyroll figures because Crunchyroll didn't share them, and unfortunately we don't have any hard numbers on that, and I'm going to come on to a figure about that right now. Michael Huber was talking about Shenmue The Animation. He's a massive Shenmue fan. If you haven't come across him before, Easy Allies, go and check them out. By all means, they're awesome. And he was saying that the animation has done very well, and he quoted a figure of 1 million streams per episode from Crunchyroll. Now, if this is true, that's massive. That's huge numbers for Shenmue, which is considered quite niche. And it will be very, very successful. I haven't got any broad numbers on this, unfortunately. So I can't back that up other than I hope it's true. If it is true, that is fantastic news for everybody. And we should celebrate that and push that within the campaign that we're obviously going to be running. So if you consider that with an asterisk across your head, if you like, successful again. Again, disproving this notion that's going around social media that Shenmue The Animation was a failure. It wasn't. There's lots of numbers here to back that up. I'm going to keep going, however. So, also, on February 27th, on Crunchyroll's website, it popped up on their sort of big role as a popular anime, which is fantastic. They also did lots of mail shots around this when it came out to sort of promote it, and I think it obviously had some degree of success. Later on in this, around, I think, April, it actually popped up in the popular tab for popular animes on their website, and that was there for a good 2-3 days and was consistently popping up. So I'd like to know, and guys, if anybody watches anime knows more about this than I do, please do say. I would assume it's having to pull pretty damn good numbers to pop up in their popular section, considering the raft of anime that they have there. Surely that counts for something. Add into the fact that Shenmue The Animation was trending almost weekly on Twitter. You can check through our social media posts. We were commenting on this weekly after the show had aired each week, that it was trending. So if it's trending that much, surely there is a popularity to it, and therefore disproving this whole notion, if you like, that Shenmue The Animation Season 1 was a failure. No, it wasn't. By all accounts, I think it surprised Adult Swim, and I'm going from the interview I had with Jason back a couple of months ago. I do think it surprised them a little bit, but the facts and figures are there. The first run did very, very well, did solid numbers, and was obviously popular with fans. Now, coming on to that popularity with fans, what I'm going to do now is pull up a piece of artwork that Shenmue Forever kindly put together. And what he did after every episode is he did a poll just to see what people thought of it. Now, I don't have the exact sample size of these polls, so you have to forgive me for that. But as you can see here, Season 1 had an overall rating of 94%, or 9.4 out of 10, whatever way you want to sell it. The fans loved it. So, from our point of view, and we do have rose-tinted glasses a little bit maybe, it did very well. We enjoyed it. We liked it. So, again, it adds into that success that the key fan base liked it, and it seemed to have transcended a little bit into other anime groups and people, which is fantastic news for Shenmue, and well deserved, because I think the quality of the anime shows and the team deserve it. Then, sort of very swiftly after this, it got itself a second run. Now, with a second run of anything, you know full well you're going to get a drop off in any viewership, I guess, because it's been on TV before. People aren't necessarily going to want to watch it again immediately. Fine, we understand that. That's not an issue. However, during its second run, it averaged, again, around 115,000 viewers, put an asterisk next to TV numbers, of course, and still outperformed Blade Runner and Attack on Titan. So again, it's performed pretty solidly, and this was at a worse time slot. So this was at 3 a.m. Eastern Time in America, right? The first run had the benefit of leading the Toonami block, which again I think shows confidence in the anime and what it could do. But despite then the second run being, right in the graveyard slot, for want of a better expression, it has still done pretty damn well. We then sort of come into a little bit of the promotion around it, and Crunchyroll themselves actually put together a little feature here, which I'm going to pull up on the page for you right now. So they tweet this out just as the show actually finished, ironically enough, and they said, it's a perfect introduction to the franchise here, and what you can see here is a very brief article talking about the anime, the jokes around it, and also what they thought of it. And generally speaking, it's come across very, very well. Now, obviously, they're not going to jump and say it's complete shit because they're jointly involved in this thing. Of course they're not. But what they are going to do is try and promote it in the best light. And actually, judging from what they've written here, I would say they were pretty happy with the general quality of it. Sorry, I'm looking at two screens as I record this. We then obviously have to look at hard viewership essentially here, because that comes into it. So what I'm going to do now is talk us through the reviews of Shenmue The Animation. Now, generally it's reviewed pretty well. There are some higher scores, there are some lower scores, but averagely speaking, you look at it between a 7 and 8 out of 10 across the board, which is pretty damn good. Again, not a failure. But there we go. I'm going to keep saying this as we keep going. I'm going to keep saying this and saying this and saying this. So, pulling up on the screen right now for you is the Crunchyroll page themselves, where we are talking about Shenmue The Animation's reviews. It's got a 4.6 rating out of 1,800 reviews. Awesome. And I think as well it's got some more written reviews of 132. Fine. So people who have watched it on Crunchyroll have rated this thing well, where they are happy with the product. Superb. I'm quite cool with that. I'm happy with that. So again, not a failure. Then coming into IMDb, it's got itself a 7.5 out of 10 rating. And you can see actually here what they've helpfully done is the voting distribution. And the majority of the votes here, as you can see, are between 10 and 7, with then a drop off into 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Okay, so 7.5 out of 10 is pretty damn solid. Probably verging on good, if anything. Probably is good. Let's not beat around the bush. It is good. It's done pretty well. We then move on to our friends at IGN, who did a review of the first episode. So they said it was pretty solid, and they gave it a good 7 out of 10 here. They say there's a few missteps to it. Now, I'm sure we can all agree as fans, there were some elements that were rushed across the whole series, and a 7 is a good rating here. It's done pretty solidly, again, through IGN, who are quite critical of things. They are quite harsh. So for this to get a 7 and Shenmue to get a 7 is pretty good going yet again. One of the next scores is from My Anime List. Now, they give it, they've had a lot of reviews on this. It's got a 6.7. So it is reviewed by people who, assuming have watched this, slightly lower. Now, I know My Anime List is quite important around anime, and it's one of the more popular rating sites and go-to places for anime. And it has rated lower on here. So it might suggest in some corners that maybe it didn't translate to other audiences as well as they may have hoped, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it did do solid numbers and actually it's done quite solid reviews across the board, I would suggest. So again, I think we're in quite a good position here with this anime, that it's reviewed well, it's been watched, it has translated to other audiences, maybe not quite as much as it could have done, maybe, I don't know. And My Anime List may suggest something around that. I don't know. As I say, I'm just reading the numbers here. But we're looking at a broad average of 7 to 8 out of 10, and viewing figures for the first run of 240,000, without considering the Crunchyroll statistics, as I said before, that we don't have any solid figures on. So this paints a good package. Go on to Google, 95% like it. Excellent. Toonami faithful, who are a Toonami fan site, really liked it. Den of the Geek also reviewed the first few episodes and really enjoyed it as well, and gave it a good rating again. Eurogamer commented that it was excellent, right? So, more than not, liked this anime, okay? The viewing figures are solid. The reviews are solid to good. So this notion of Shenmue The Animation being a failure, I'm sorry, is complete rubbish, and the numbers and the facts and the statistics back that up. So then this sort of brings me into my closing arguments, if you like, and why this decision baffles me a little bit here. Now, I said this at the top of the video, that Shenmue, in comparison to some of the other IPs that have been cut, is smaller. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. I know that. We're not silly. We understand it. But it still baffles me that an anime that has been successful, got good numbers, got good reviews, and has translated to other audiences, and fans liked it, has been dropped. I don't get it. I don't understand why this decision has happened. And the numbers make this sound even more illogical. Let's be honest here. This sounds really weird. Whether it's a tax write-off, whether Crunchyroll didn't want to do it, whether Sega didn't want to do it, we can guess all the way through. But it doesn't change what we need to do. The numbers don't lie. Shenmue The Animation was a success, is a success, and if we get a home release, hopefully that's a success as well. And we need to buy that up if it does come. So, guys, I'm going to then go on to a bit of a preachy bit here, which is what we need to do. And quite frankly, I've seen comments across social media going, oh, Shenmue 3 contributed to the failure of the anime. No, it didn't. It's nothing to do with it. Oh, there's no story in Shenmue 3. They couldn't have made a second season. Yes, they could. I interviewed the man who said they would use half a season of Shenmue 3 and could fill in those gaps. So that's utter rubbish as well, right? The key point I'm saying here is, guys, whatever your thoughts are on Shenmue The Animation, Shenmue 3, if you want this series to continue, be it in game form or anime form, whatever it needs to be, you need to put those arguments aside, get over it, and join this campaign. It's quite simple. Hashtag Shenmue Anime 2, 4th of every month. Hashtag Let's Get Shenmue 4, excuse me. Hashtag Let's Get Shenmue 4, 4th of every month. We need to be tweeting it. Sega, Warner Brothers Discovery, Adult Swim, Crunchyroll. We need to be telling everybody about this, that we want the second season, and specifically to Sega, that, and Wisnet and everybody else, that we aren't going quiet about this fourth game just because this anime has been seemingly cancelled. But guys, you need to get away from this whole Shenmue 3 thing. The game is done. It's been made. Whether you liked it or not, and I have my issues with it, everybody has issues with it. Fine, whatever. Draw a line under it. Because all it's going to do is damage a campaign to get this second season made and get Shenmue 4 made. And quite frankly, we put so much energy into getting this third game made, reviving the franchise to the point where we get a new anime, get new merchandise, that we are shooting ourselves in the foot for no reason. And I don't understand why people want to be doing that. Anyway, guys, on that sort of bombshell that I'm going to leave you here with, like I said, Shenmue the Anime was a success. The numbers prove it. The stats prove it. The decision is baffling. Get out there, 4th of every month. Hashtag Shenmue Anime 2. Hashtag Let's Get Shenmue 4. Let's not go quiet. Let's make sure that this is corrected, this decision is reversed one way or the other, that we get the anime or get the fourth game, or hopefully both. But we don't go quiet, guys. We have to take this by the scruff of the neck now, because this is a shot across the bows to the future of the franchise here. And we need to come together now. But guys, for now, take care, and I will see you all again in the not too distant future. Have a good one.